Welcome, everyone, to Unpopular Reviews, returning the flagship show of the Raw Review Show, where it all started. So, I'm happy to be back. I am Evil Dose. Normally, I'm going to be here with the executive consultant, but the first show he called out on assignment. But, hey, everybody, you get a win. He's got the one, the only, possibly the only real flagship, the only man who gets a solo show on the Unpopular Review, the one and the only Mike Knox. What's up,
What's
man?
going on? Eva Dose, Raw, this road. What's next for Cody? Damn, it was I don't know. That felt like a long 3 hours tonight, but maybe because I've just been doing double duty since last night, I'm just a little bit tired. But I would say a little underwhelming, at least for me.
I'm going to agree with you. It's been a long time since I've watched Raw in real time from 8 to 11. Just straight without being able to fast forward through commercials and recaps.
Mhm.
But we're going to skip through commercials, and I think we're going to skip through the recaps of the recaps of the recaps, and the
Yes.
recaps of SmackDown, the recaps of Raw of Net last week, and the recaps of the Royal Rumble and advertisements. But Raw tonight emanates from St. Louis, and we open up with Seth Rollins, who continues to dress like a fool. Exactly.
Just looking like an idiot with a knee brace on.
For sure. And Cody, I'm not sure the window pane suit is back. But
I like
guess
those suits. I'm a big fan of the 20s fashion, so
Yeah.
I like that. I like the straps there.
It's got the Nookie Thompson going on there. That's an Empire Boardwalk, a Boardwalk Empire reference. So yeah, everyone's acknowledging the "We Want Cody" chants. There's little signs everywhere. Hashtag We Want Cody. I don't know if some fans distribute it or dun 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 WWE themselves.
I was just talking to Zia Silent backstage before we came on. I said I just read a post that they said that they were there at the arena, and that the word is that the WWE was passing those out. But you know what's funny about that? I always will say if the day had died, hashtag death to dirt sheets. They probably did hand those out. If you've been in wrestling events like I've been in wrestling WWE events, they don't let you come in the building with so many things like that. They check everything. So if they don't want that there, they will confiscate that. So I wouldn't be surprised if those signs were legitimate about the "We Want Cody" signs being passed out from the WWE, because to tell you one thing they've always done, they've always kept their ear to what people are saying. And they know, especially since Triple H and the social media eras, the last 7 or years, I would say even more low since the Daniel Bryan situation, Occupy, they're listening to the fans. So I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't pass those damn signs out to people.
Well, I ask you this, Fort Knox, the man of gold, the man with gold opinions. What is St. Louis best known for?
I would say trash. I'm from Chicago, so the Cardinals suck. Their food sucks. Six Flags Great America is great though.
And what else
Great Adventure
sucks from St. Louis?
Randy Orton.
Keep going.
Shit.
It probably sucks so bad it's not even part of your lexicon. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light.
Bud Light.
I think the woke staff at the arena took over and hijacked the show, and they passed it out themselves. No, I think you're exactly right. I think that the WWE themselves have these things, and they were passed out at every turnstile. I know turnstile is a very controversial thing since last spring. No one knows what a turnstile is anymore. It's very confusing. And we even got some Rocky sucks chants from Seth while Seth was speaking. He even acknowledged he never thought he'd hear that one in 2024.
All 1,500 people of the 14,000 that were in the building that scream "Rocky sucks." Woohoo! Okay, it's titled "Where Does Cody Go From Here" in this Raw review, right? So we see that he comes out and he got the crowd, the chants. You see that "We Want Cody" signs are everywhere. But Jeff, I can't help but feel this is Cody Rhodes' fault, right? And I'm gonna tell you why. I praised him. I praised him for everything he's ever done as Stardust and Dashing Cody, and I always praise Baron Corbin. I praise what's his name, Dolph Ziggler. I love those who can take chicken shit and turn it into chicken salad. I love those kind of guys, and Cody's that guy. But from the second he came out on SmackDown, and every time you see him in the ring since, including this evening, he just has this defeated look on his own face. So isn't this the guy who always talks about business, and it was about business the first time, and he left the company because it was about business? So he went to AEW and created AEW because it was a business decision, and he came home because it was a personal, still business decision. Well, the business didn't screw, the people didn't screw you, Cody. The business kind of did, right? Because business had to be taken care of. And I just feel
Absolutely.
like Cody could smile a little more. Where's Cody's lost his smile, if you will, Jeff.
I'm not sure he's not acting though, and I'm really not sure. I don't know if he actually is a little bit disheartened or if he's acting. And I mean, listen, this
He better be acting.
whatever it is, there's some element of working here, and that is good. What the heck?
I don't know. I just hear you're moving. I don't
It's
see
my
you
stupid
anymore.
my stupid camera is gone off. I'm too good looking for that. Oh, my background. Oh no, my
Oh
secret lair.
man, you are
Uh,
not in hiding anymore.
I know, ridiculous.
Better
This is
watch
this is
out for the
tremendous.
My Blue Heaven all over again.
Yeah, I will take care of that. I will take care of that shortly. Luckily, I've got armed security here. So yeah, there's this, there, whatever it is, there's some element of working going on here. And I always said there's going to be twists and turns before Cody finishes the story. I presumed it would be at WrestleMania. I'm not
Mhm.
sure that's not out the door yet. We've never actually heard the words uttered out of the Rock's mouth. And we actually didn't get a chance to hear much out of the mouth of Cody Rhodes either, at least nothing substantive, because Drew McIntyre came out. And first of all, I don't know how he came out of the ramp because he was wearing a black hoodie. And doesn't that means you come out of the stands?
Yeah, that's typically where it comes from. If
Yeah,
that
I
was
mean,
to happen.
but he came out just, right out the normal Tron entrance with his black hoodie on. But listen, Drew McIntyre was spitting nothing but facts. He's basically saying, Seth, you're the only guy who hates CM Punk as much as I do. And Cody, what are you listening to him for? Why are you letting everyone get into your head? Finish your story. Go after Roman. And you don't want to go after Seth. Seth, we should be main eventing WrestleMania. And Seth's like, whoa, big dog. What makes you think that you'd be in the main event anyway?
Because that shirt that he had on the night.
he, he did reveal the shirt, the one everyone's been seeing, where he's flashing the peace sign on the grave of CM Punk's WrestleMania aspirations, dying in 2024.
It's funny. Until they showed him in the surgery, I kind of, being it's still wrestling, right? We still think a lot of things are storyline. I like to keep kayfabe alive. I actually thought, well, maybe he was trying to do the Seth Rollins thing, right? And he doesn't have to have the surgery right away. Then they showed him going for surgery. I said, there goes that thought process.
Right. Yeah, no, he was, there might have been a vacation or something. But yeah, no, we did see the CM Punk vignette where he did indeed look like he was getting surgery. It looks like it's his right tricep, which I believe is not the same one he tore when he was in AEW. I'm not 100% on that.
Every time he has a match, he gets hurt at this point. So
He's sort of 3 for 3 in big spots with big injuries. So some people age more quickly than others.
Right.
I feel that every day. So anyway, I mean, this is a pretty good opening segment. I actually didn't mind any of the talking. I think it furthered all the stories and furthered the question marks that are there, and it leaned into all the question marks surrounding what's going on with the wrestling storyline. More importantly, for the last 72 to 96 wrestling hours, the wrestling world isn't talking about Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's been about. Right. And they still don't answer tonight. They actually left off tonight by saying, see you Thursday.
They sure as heck did. And
they don't know what they're going to do yet.
They probably don't. And, but Pat McAfee, he's in full denial mode. He's like saying that there's stories you can only see in the WWE. He says, it's a beautiful time to be a WWE fan. I'm not exactly sure it is, but storyline wise, he's right.
Everything he said was right.
Yeah.
Everything he said was right.
And not to defend. Well, I am going to defend them because you know what? Hello, Charmaine. He's commentary on a TV show. It's not the nightly news. His job is to entertain and to advance the storylines and to acknowledge real life only to the extent that it helps the television show and premium live events and live show attendance. So his job is not to make commentary on the real world. Anyway, everyone will be fired because their lawyers are all over the place going, no comment, defer to legal, talk to our public relations department, whatever it is, it's been drilled into all of them. So anyway, Our first match tonight is the Fatal 4-Way to determine who is going to face the indie-rific team of Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, who won a Fatal 4-Way on SmackDown, to become the number one contenders for Judgment Day's, as I guess they're undisputed tag team title belts, which seems to me to be serving no purpose. But the four teams here, talk about indie-rific. You have DIY, the Creeds, Imperium, and then the only old school team there is the New Day. So those
I
are
am not a DIY guy. Never have been. I don't see the fascination with them. I get Ciampa's motor, but Gargano looks like my guy who comes out here every Monday and does my yard. I just can't tell him apart. If he was in a grocery store, laundromat, or airport, no one's gonna know who he is unless you know who he is. The Creed brothers are just, why they're not winning this thing, I don't know. All right. It was so scary. It's one of things like you thought, well, anybody could win, maybe the New Day, right? But then Triple H does what Triple H does, and look what's going to happen on Friday Night SmackDown. I've said it from the beginning. He is booking his people. These are people like, this is why Adam Cole wish he didn't re-sign, because Triple H is back in control. That's right. He has a whole NXT main event on Friday night with Pete Dunne and Tyler Bates going against now DIY. So,
all right. So for Game of Thrones fans out there, whenever I see Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, I see Bronn and Tyrion Lannister. That's it. All I have to say is this is my nightmare scenario of the finals. I can't stand either of these teams. I'm not interested in many of these people. I've come to tolerate Pete Dunne for what he is in the role he has. I sort of liked him as Butch. I don't care what
I actually did like him as Butch also, but I like the bruiserweight.
I like the broserweights. As a matter of fact, I saw the bro yesterday. He remembers everybody from UPR. He remembered the time that he conference call and a sleepy me was in the corner. He actually spit out details. He goes, "I have a good memory." I'm like, that I didn't know. Okay, well, thank you. By the way, Mariah May remembered our interview as well. She said, "Yeah, you were backstage, weren't you?" I'm like, "Yeah, you're right." By a lovely woman. Anyway, by any name, I like Pete Dunne with that character in the right thing. But Tyler Bate, the big strong boy, I mean, he makes Kevin Sullivan look big. And I'm with you on Gargano. Ciampa has his place. I mean, Ciampa had some interactions with Bronson Reed, who I thought that might be interesting. He's got a, but you're right. This is Triple H's thing. And so such it is. Anyway, the match was also indie-rific. On the day that Bret Hart said the wrestlers have to stop waiting on the outside for everybody to fall into them, they must have done it about 17 times during the course of this match in various ways, from cannonballs to suplexes to dives to swantons, you name it. It was happening, but it was a fun match, fast-moving, not a lot of, botchamania going on. I mean, for 8 guys, some of which are pretty young and who probably aren't used to this kind of carnage, pretty well orchestrated. I mean, the match was fun. You just had the least interesting ending for me, though it happened in a clever way. Ciampa made a hot tag. I think it was Brutus Creed didn't feel it. I don't know, but I guess he's not there to be smart.
No, he's not.
I mean, if your name is Brutus, I guess you're not supposed to be smart. You're supposed to be somebody's dog. So yeah, DIY wins that, and then we get some more excitement in Shayna Baszler giving a promo while tying her gi, reminding us how in the past she had to go through the Elimination Chamber to get to Becky Lynch, and that didn't go so well. But she's really excited that Becky Lynch has to go through her to get to the Elimination Chamber, and Shayna Baszler can rend her limb from limb, despite the fact that they've probably wrestled 120 times, and she has yet to rend any limb from any joint yet. But I guess hope springs eternal, and then we see Becky basically, saying that she's coming for Shayna. She's going to go through her because this isn't about winning. This is about her career.
I love Shayna Baszler. I really do. She can benefit from being a Heyman girl the way I thought Ronda Rousey could. They continue to try to rebuild her, repackage her, but I don't think nothing they can do at this point would get her over. Unless she beat Ronda Rousey. Like they had that one shining moment. She beat Ronda Rousey, unless she beats Becky Lynch. They had that one shining moment in the chamber, and that was her moment, and they never really finished that off and capitalized on that. And that just, broke my spirits, if you will, so to speak. But this match was blah. And that's a shame coming from two girls who can actually go in the square circle. But I've been over Becky Lynch for a while now. I missed the last kicker, Becky Lynch. I thought she wrestled differently. It's just the man, Becky Lynch, I'm not here for it. Give me big time Bex, if anything, back personally.
She's had a really weird year. The whole thing with Trish, that wasn't working at all, and with Zoe wasn't working at all. But then she went down to NXT, and I didn't think that was going to work, but it did work. And the stuff with Tiffany was great. The stuff with Lyra was okay. It felt forced. I'm not really on board the Lyra train, but you did the NXT Vengeance Day review show yesterday, so everyone can hear your thoughts on that by rolling that back and hear it. And if they want to hear my thoughts on it before the show, I did the prediction show for NXT Vengeance Day. By the way, not a lot of you watched it, so watch the prediction show for sure, but definitely watch their review show as well. But watch everything, you ham and eggers, you. And then we got a few, around this time, we got our first plug for what came up plenty of times tonight. And what you alluded to is that this Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern for Super Bowl weekend in Las Vegas, there is going to be a WWE WrestleMania media event, which is live streamed on Peacock. And apparently Pat McAfee and Michael Cole are going to be there. And the graphic indicated that The Rock was going to be there, Roman Reigns, Bianca
That's been that
Belair.
way since Friday. They kind of said The Rock was going to be there when that went off the air. We're going live. We're going to be live watching this press conference at 7 p.m. Eastern. So come back to Unpopular Review Wrestling and join on that, because this is the time of the year. Like it, don't like it, indifferent, whatever. It's the wrestler's dream right here. We get a Super Bowl for not just the 1-2 days of the Super Bowl. We get the lead up is a lot longer than the regular Bowl, which only gives you 2 weeks. This is a 60-day leading to WrestleMania. So let's kick it off this Thursday. Come back here as well and check us out before you check out Unpopular Review Entertainment's Book of Eli review.
Now, Mike, this is true. You're a media veteran. I mean, you had a show on Fox, right?
Yes, sir. Fox Sports Radio 1340 AM, Fox Sports Radio 969 FM, 5 to 7 drive time.
So I'm sure that things flow down. As John Alba's been saying, workflow. And is it your opinion that before anybody from the press goes into this, they're going to be told, do not ask anything about Vince McMahon's suit. No one is going to answer it. If you do, you're never coming in again. Or do you think they're just going to let the chips fall where they may, and they'll have something said? Our public relations, will TKO and a bunch of lawyers release statements earlier in the day, and they'll just defer to those and say, we'd love to answer, but we've been told to make no comment and just refer you to this statement. What, in your experience and in your opinion, because they're both valuable, what do you think will be the case come Thursday at 7?
Honestly, I don't know. Professionally, I think they can't stop the media. And I'm going back only off of the only thing we have to base stuff of was the Royal Rumble. Right. And I picked on them picking the same people to ask the questions. That's why Triple H gave so many more extra questions to be asked, because 3 guys tried to switch the question around, ask it a different way. They're not going to speak on it until they're ready to speak on it. Sure. So a person go in there all they want to and try to bring it up, try to make a name for themselves, but they're wasting their time and they're wasting their question at that point. They're not going to speak about it. It's, you know what I mean? Like I said, they got people in place. It's no longer a civil suit. It's now a federal case. So now anything someone can say can be held against them. So
part of it might have always been a federal case, and there may be federal cases. I mean,
cases, right? Plural, right?
There is a civil suit. There's a lot of potential.
A lot of stuff's going on, right? So all we know is that nobody of power who has any information what's going to happen is going to speak on anything. Nobody from TKO, no Ari Emanuel, no Rock. Triple H is not going to say, oh yeah, by the way, that's not going to happen. So they're there for Mania. At this point, I'm kind of like you. Especially after tonight's Raw. They're probably talking about what's going to happen Thursday still now. They don't know what the main event is for WrestleMania at this point in time, because the internet did go so batshit crazy over the decision. # we want Rocky, though.
Right. I'm sure they'll have some practiced responses if you're right and there's not rules. Now, in fairness, I've been told, not directly, I've listened to their shows, so told is the wrong word, from John Alba and Brandon Thurston, who are both pretty objective. And I would say that Brandon Thurston's probably more of an AEW favorite than a WWE, and I don't think anyone's ever listened to WrestleNomics would find it to be a shocking statement. But both of them said independently that nobody from WWE has ever told them that they were not allowed to speak in anything and ask a particular question before. So maybe that'll continue. But you're right, they won't get any great answers. I'm of a mixed mind with the press on this. If you are the press, you have to ask the questions. The thing is that when you're in the wrestling media, are you really the press or are you part of the show? And and does it differ if you are the 12-year-old kid who gets the podcast that's in there versus wrestling online, and how much is the difference between them? And I don't know the answers to those questions. So, if I were them, I'd probably be like you, and I would stick to WrestleMania and stuff that's going on in wrestling, because you're right, it's a wasted question, and I would just accept the blowback from, the Twitterverse, which doesn't matter, the Xverse. But anyway, I just wanted your insight on that because, you actually have some. Next segment is Kathy Kelly. She's with Liv Morgan, who's been paying attention to the goings-ons. And Liv Morgan is not interested at all in Becky and Shayna. She doesn't care about what's going on. She's going to start her path for revenge on Rhea, and it's starting right now. Just watch. I don't know what she was talking about, but later on they did indicate that she was going to be in also a qualifying eliminator match. By the way, I don't think I bothered to mention it because it's so obvious, but Becky Lynch won the match, and she will be in the elimination chamber 2 weeks from now in Perth, Australia. I can't believe we're getting another premium live event so quickly.
5 a.m. 5 a.m.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours before I start work.
What day of the week is it? Is it going to be
Saturday?
There's a chance I'll stay up to watch it live.
Stay up? I'm just getting up at that time. So,
well, I could either. Well, let's see. It depends if I have one of my rare ambitious nights out, or more frequently insomnia, or if I just go to sleep really early and get up super early.
He said insomnia.
Yeah, there are times when I can't sleep, and it often is because I recorded a wrestling show, and then I start freaking out that I won't have time to watch it during the day when I'm working in dead time before somebody wants me to speak on it, and I actually come in here in my cavern and I watch wrestling, and I go back to bed. Anyway, enough about that. Nobody cares about the what keeps old men up.
They care about Rhea Thickly though.
As they should. So Rhea comes out, and La Sicaria, mi esposa, she comes out, she goes, she's looking different. I'm like, yeah, she's always changing up, and she's growing her hair. I'm sensing it's a face change. The face turn is coming, once that hair gets long enough. And she wants Nia Jax, and Adam Pearce comes running out. Well, Rhea, you can't do that right now. Why? I'm not sure. She can do whatever she wants, but and why, doing a promo in the ring is now also hijacking the show. But anyway, he says, you want Nia Jax, I'm going to give you Nia Jax in 2 weeks at the Elimination Chamber for the title. And are you happy? Yes, I'm happy. And then Nia comes out, and he calls out. And the funny thing is she ran right through Adam Pearce and beat him up a couple times, and then ran through security. But,
Nia Jax is the most dominating female wrestler to not be considered a dominant female wrestler to me. I think she deserves the stripes that she's getting. But they don't position her. I'll never forget how they let, God, I'm sorry, help me out. Had the baby. Alexa Bliss beat her. I was just like, it's just, come on. It's where's my plastic bottle? And lighter again. It's like, come on.
Do your hook Samoa Joe routine.
Yeah, like, come on, that's not possible. But this is feasible. Rhea Thickly has destroyed every female that come around her, including Raquel Rodriguez. And it just list continue. But who she has not dominated, who she has not been able to push around, has been Nia Jax. The beauty and the beast is back, and she's shown it tonight. She's losing weight. That fupa is looking amazing. She's here for it all.
Well, I'm telling you, I think the narrative with Nia Jax is changing in this run. When she was first, announced as rehired, I think there were a lot of groans, but she's been killing it. And if this second act of Nia Jax continues, even for 3 to 5 years, I think she's going to redefine her entire career, and she might be looked at as like the female version of like King Kong Bundy or Kamala or something.
Always hope
never
so.
won it, but they were legit monsters.
Yeah.
And she'll win a title at some point. I mean, she just will.
She's won it, but it's the title reign that we do. It's not about the title win sometimes, right? It's about do you remember the title run
True
that she's had. So
she's probably not going to win it this time. But that match goes on, and yes, as you saw from the picture, she squashed Rhea Ripley once again. And one of the commentators said, "I'm not sure that's the best idea." And I think Pat McAfee said, "What are you talking about? She's a pancake. She just got flattened." So that was fine. So it was obviously Cole who said the stupid thing. All right. So anyway, so then we get a recap of Nakamura's attacking Cody, and I just have question marks, and the bull rope map, and I just have more question marks, and I get it. Dusty, bull rope match. Blah, blah, blah. I mean,
they are beating a dead horse. No pun intended, right? Like, why so much? Like, again, we're in the same age bracket as far as wrestling's been around. We've seen people wrestle each other all the time, over and over. That's the business. That was the business, right? But damn, him and Nakamura have been going at it for 2 months, and it's like Nakamura has yet to do anything other than spit blood in his face. Like that, he did it again tonight when he put the mist in his face. I'm like, damn, Cody, how dumb can you be? It's coming, duck. You know.
He's going into this feud 0-3, so I don't know. We're not going to spoil anything, let you know how it turned out. But let's just say that the story might have changed, but it wasn't by Nakamura.
Only story that matters, the only story that anybody cares about, is this.
That is indeed correct. And next we get Adam Pearce talking to Drew McIntyre. I guess he's reprimanding Drew for attacking an injured Seth, because that's the second week in a row he's attacked someone who's not cleared. But basically that gets sidetracked by the whole thing we just talked about with Nia and all that. And then we get what nobody on earth asked for: Alpha Academy in a mixed tag team, which is Tozawa and Maxine Dupree against Ivar and Valhalla. And all I have to say to this is stop putting Maxine Dupree in the ring. She might have surprised you once or twice, but she can't wrestle for prime time.
Put some respect on her name. It's Maxine Dupree.
Is it
there right now? Pay the respect. Maxine Dupree.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, but she can't. I mean, I'm not gonna say that, but she shouldn't be in the ring right now. I mean, she just shouldn't. But I get confused. 1 second she was at Alpha Academy, then she wasn't at Alpha Academy. Like, they're going through some changes right now behind the scenes. It's like, as great as things are right now, there's still some things that need to be fixed. And Maxine Dupree is one of them girls. This is just 2 weeks ago when she came out with Chelsea. Who she came out with somebody 2 weeks ago? She didn't have the Maxine Dupree gimmick on.
Ivy Nile.
Yeah, Ivy Nile. She didn't have the gimmick on. She was back to being like the model version of Maxine Dupree, not the American, Alpha Academy Maxine Dupree. So, but this whole Valhalla chick, all that to me is just talking about watching Game of Thrones. I don't get the Viking Raiders without the other. And I know everybody loved them in Ring of Honor and all those other things. He's always hurt. So it's time for him to go by the wayside too. Yeah, give me more Bronson Royal on my TV. Where was he at tonight? That's my answer.
Back then when they first brought them up, they were sort of poor in tag teams, but now they're rich in tag teams, and these guys are just clutter now. I just don't think that Triple H is the kind of guy that wants to, especially now, but I don't think at all he wants to cut anyone while they're injured. Anyway, it's the Vikings aren't the weak link in this particular melee. It's Alpha Academy, who I think them as a joke has run its course. And I think that they could do both. I think they want to have Maxine Dupree and Ivy Nile as a tag team, but it's clear it's not going to work. But you could have Ivy Nile as the serious women's wrestler in Alpha Academy, and you could still keep Maxine Dupree as the valet manager spokesperson for all of them, or just the cheerleader, whatever. It's so it's sort of a false choice. But I'm with the Z. Don't put her in the ring unless it's to cause a distraction or get hit and garner sympathy.
How? Do tell. I've lived through hard times. I don't see the reference, the comparison rather. Do you, Jeff? Maybe I'm missing something.
I think that he's just saying that Dusty chased a whole lot more than he had success, which is true. But I mean, this is corporate Cody. Cody, most of his life was in affluence, and and he's wearing the fancy suits. I mean, he's dressing more like Ric Flair than Dusty Rhodes.
So. Dusty was all about, it was him versus Flair. Flair showing the flash and the grit and the glamour, and here I am, hard times when you know what I mean. That I've done this, I've done that. He didn't. So that's the difference between the two storylines. So that's why I don't get the comparison there on that one. See.
Yeah, and then Dusty constantly had to get new Avengers to help him with the Horsemen. I mean, Dusty versus the Horsemen is up there with Hogan versus the Heenan family as iconic feuds.
One of the biggest of all time. Absolutely.
Yeah. So he had to get the Road Warriors at some point, but they turned on him and took out his eye with
everybody turned on Dusty.
Right.
Ronnie Garvin turned on him.
That's right.
The
Raging Bull, Manny Fernandez.
Oh, not Randy, not Raging Bull. Freaking Barry Windham. I mean, everybody turned on Dusty.
Absolutely.
Everybody.
Yeah. So that was his. I mean, nobody's really turned on Cody yet, but I don't know. I know what he's saying, but it's not the same kind of journey. But it's a very different era. You can't listen. Dusty's chase was during when NWA and WCW, they were very much like considered the Southern territories, even though Portland and some of those places were part of it, not exactly South. But let's say I grew up in New York. I didn't know the difference between St. Louis, Dallas, and Atlanta, which was South and which wasn't. To me, everything south of Philadelphia, South. I
keep saying East all the time, and Mike goes, you mean Northeast. We're technically in the East. We're in Florida. I go, no, East is back up north. You know what I mean? This is just the South. They call this the South. Oh, it's below the Mason-Dixon line. No, this is East.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. The only argument was people in Baltimore, Washington, D.C. going, yeah, we're really more north too. So anyway, that's not particularly important, but this is by no way a Southern promotion anymore. This is an international cosmopolitan promotion. This is more Abu Dhabi than Duluth. All right, so. You think
Duluth,
we do a commercial or something?
Let's go ahead. Let's run a commercial ad. Let's come back, talk about some more Raw, and we'll be right back, y'all. How about that?
Sounds good. Let's do it. Vinny, please rant on.
Okay. I'm going to give you guys the benefit of the doubt that the promo was good, okay? The promo worked tonight, all right? I'll give you that. But I'm going to give you the fact that Peraza was correct when she says delusional shame is what she is. She comes out flocking like a fucking bird, like a bird coming down from Philadelphia. She comes out flocking, like what the fuck are you flocking about? Like what are you doing? I mean, if this is our AEW World Champion, shame on AEW for this shit. Shame on him, because I'm gonna tell you what, she had a good promo tonight, but every other night that she's on there, I want to vomit and crush my penis with a fucking hammer.
I think we all want that.
That's how bad. That's how bad this is, bro. That's how bad it is. Honestly, I mean, come on. If I have to watch somebody like Goldust,
do we have TVMA that we can?
I have to watch somebody like Goldust, split screen, half black and white, half color.
Chris, you have your commercial.
And then she wrestles in black and white. What is this shit? This is garbage.
She wrestles in Technicolor, by the way. She doesn't wrestle.
Oh, Technicolor.
Yeah.
It's garbage.
Yeah, and what is flocking? I was afraid to ask. Is that a word you could use? She was fucking
flocking.
What the fuck does flocking mean?
With wings, like she was a fucking bird.
Previously on the Mike Knox Show.
Channel, y'all can kiss my ass. YouTube or Google me. Turn it up and play it. Because many people think it. I just had the balls to...
Then we get this trash. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all want me to believe. I ain't talking about AEW. I'm talking about AEW's fan base. Okay? So I'm talking to you.
Just bring it, bitch!
I want to love AEW. I actually like AEW. Said I want to love, I actually like. But seriously, people, Samoa Joe made this bull look like dental floss, right? There was I'm going to see if I can, what they say, reenactment, right? Here's a shout out to the executive consultant. Here is Samoa Joe. Here is Hook. What the? How are they supposed to? What is that? Samoa Joe made quick work of Hook. Quick work. Hook should not have been in this match. I'm sorry.
Those some good commercials. I have a question for you. I see that jacket you got, the King jacket, but I saw some film, some footage of Willie Steeman Beeman wearing the same jacket. Now, do you have the same jacket, or did you actually lend out your jacket?
I lend out my jacket.
That is kind of you. You are a benevolent king.
Well, when you're out and you flossing, I like to floss, and he liked it, and I like it, and it was cold, so I brought it. Let's wear it. So
By the way, kids out there, flossing is much different than flocking.
what I still know what the fuck flocking is.
I think he was confusing flapping of wings
He
with a
was.
flock of birds.
He was.
But let's not lose sight of that. He wants to vomit on himself and crush his own penis. So
Yeah, I definitely heard that. He had some serious issues going on that one.
yeah, that was wonderful.
What else we had tonight?
Well, we had some good comedy finally in Judgment Day, and they're just talking nonsense again. How I mean, by the way, listen, I Dominic Mysterio broke out of nowhere with Mommy, superheat, nuclear. He's been killing it. He's the most improved character in wrestling probably over the last 2 years, year and a half. But without Mommy, he's really lost like at least half his heat, hasn't he?
I wouldn't say so. They just haven't put him in that limelight yet. He goes out there. He's that guy. I don't think Mommy brought the heat. I think the audience brought the heat and how they just portrayed him in the ring when everybody was talking together in Judgment Day. You get Judgment Day back in the ring together, the core four of the Judgment Day, they'd be right back to booing him. That's my belief. But I'm also thinking that I also know that Dominic is the greatest North American champion in NXT history. So
Wow, that was a bold statement. This might be our first disagreement of the night. I think without Rhea, he has lost half his heat, and I think that's gonna be a problem because clearly she's going her own way pretty soon. But anyway, that's not important. R-Truth, very funny, still thinks he's part of the gang. Nobody wants to deal with it, so they leave it up to Priest, and Priest is like, make yourself at home. I don't care. Because Priest obviously is being kicked out. So we move on here from JD McDonough and Dom because, part of the reason they had to peace out from the clubhouse was that JD McDonough has his match with the Miz. R-Truth comes out around midway and he's going his way through the crowd, giving away the shirts of the Judgment Day names with the and R-Truth all over them.
Love them. I need one.
Yeah, you should get one. You could have been there. He could have handed you out one, but there's none that says Tom and Nick Mysterio on it. It just says Dominic. So Truth has to work on a different version. So he's giving away shirts, and then he finally winds his way to sort of where commentary ends, that corner there where the opposite side of the timekeeper, and he puts a shirt on Dominic, who's against the barrier, puts it on over his head so he can't see, and it's over his arms so he can't move his arms. And that gives the Miz a chance to kick him in the face. And R-Truth's like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then R-Truth distracts himself by pointing out how much money he's made in selling these shirts that he's just given away. And he approaches JD McDonough about his cut. And JD McDonough's like, get out of here. But yeah, okay, I'll take it. And he's about to shove it down his trunks. And he walks himself into a what's I just said Mrs. Finisher. What is it again?
Oh God, the finale.
Right, the something finale. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point was, just like with Big John Studd, the money went all over the place, and Miz beats JD McDonough again, and R-Truth is collecting the money, and he still thinks he's part of Judgment Day. He just thinks that when he was beat up, it was the
skull crushing finale.
Right.
Put me in a spot.
He thinks originally he was initiated, and the beat up was like the reinitiation. So R-Truth continues to think of this.
What happened to Jade Cargill supposed to be on there tonight?
I don't know.
Didn't she said it on SmackDown that she was going to be on Raw this week? That didn't happen.
That's a good question.
Braun showed up. Braun Breaker showed up to go against his contract, but she said, "Okay, I'll see you Monday," and I never seen her.
Maybe they decide they just want to do one thing at a time, one a week. One per show. They did Braun this week. They did Tiffany Stratton last week. Maybe they want to save Jade for last. They want to have her heavily lobbied, like when Bam Bam Bigelow, when 6 managers were all vying for him when he first came in. I don't know. Anyway, so next, we get Imperium talking to Pierce, and they just want to make sure the details are right for the 600-day celebration. This is just to get us to the point for Pierce to say, please excuse me, I'm busy. And Braun Breaker comes in there, and Pierce is like, I saw you with Nick Aldis. I'm glad you waited. Whatever Nick offered you, I'm going to top it, and don't believe him anyway. He's not going to keep his promises. And, that's sort of where we leave off, seeing where, what Braun is going to do. I mean, I think he's going to sign with Raw, but I'm always going to say someone should sign with Raw because it's 3 hours long. Right. They need as many people as they can. We haven't seen Andrade yet, by the way, who signed with Raw. And this is another question I have for you. And I don't think that you know the answer any better than anybody else. But Netflix, as far as we know, it's still going to be Monday night. It's still going to be streamed live. It's still going to be 3 hours. but they don't have commercials. So there's going to have to be more content during Monday Night Raw.
I would beg to differ on the commercial aspect.
Okay.
From all I've read, and I'm in that business, like Max did, and just threw commercials in there. We know that Netflix is upping their prices already. Mm-hmm. I do think they're going to have a package where there's a no commercial package versus a commercial package. Okay, so I wouldn't be surprised if you get commercials. Like I have the Peacock version of not commercials. So sometimes when you're watching a pay-per-view or something, PLE, y'all are going through a commercial. I'm really just watching reruns of Titantron videos,
that's
essentially, at the same time. So that 3 hours is 3 hours, somehow you want to look at it. But will it be 3 hours at that point? Well, at that point, would it be 2.5?
Well,
and how would they do that, right? So,
and how many commercials can they sell? Can they sell the same amount? Do they have a team that's built to sell commercials? But I have regular Peacock, so I know exactly what you're saying, because they say, our premium Peacock members will watch this while, and the rest of you, they don't tell us we're going to see commercials. They just tell us what we're missing.
You already know, right?
Which I never think is anything to be missed. All right, well, we'll see. But I don't think it would kill Raw no matter, even if the format doesn't change, because it's really built around predictable commercial breaks. Having more wrestlers on there, more wrestling couldn't hurt.
Yep, yeah, they're going to have their own promotion around it. It'll be their own commercials they run. It'll be their own what to watch on Netflix kind of things. It won't be you're not going to see no Michelin or Xfinity, Spectrum, T-Mobile commercials. They're going to be on Netflix. I don't see it's going to be like that. It'd be what they have coming up and what they have on their network already. So a lot of money spent. So a lot of money has to get divvied out somewhere to recoup that investment. So
I'm sure that they also, they have a year and a half to build a sales team, and I'm sure that they can poach from the many places.
Year and a half? They got a year. January next year is here. It says January 2025.
You're right.
That's 10 months from now.
Yeah, so, you're right. But they've probably been building towards this for a bit. Anyway, that's Netflix's problem, not ours. Just a little piece of curiosity.
I'm just not a fan of Netflix in general. I think the functionalities of the app always runs clunky to me. But that's just me. People say they have problems with Peacock, and I've never had a problem with Peacock in any form or fashion, other than sometimes because I'm on a lot of streaming services. If I'm in a party with someone, they might be 15, 20 seconds ahead of me. But other than that, it never pauses, it never stops. I never have to click it double times. Netflix will I'll be watching something and it'll stop moving, but yet moving at the same time on the screen. You got to reload the thing. And if you're watching live television, that can become a problem. And the last time Netflix had something live, they tried to run that, whatever that shows my wife was watching with Nick Lachey and his wife. They ran that show live, and it was a clusterfuck. Right. Of what happened. So let's just hope they get it fixed between here and then in January.
For sure. Let's hope they
got a lot of content to fill. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's but as far as the streaming apps, I find sort of similar problems with it. Frankly, Max is the one that I have the most difficulty with. So I think it's just a question of when you're watching, probably where you are. Yeah, Max.
See, that's my favorite app. I've never had a problem with that.
Wasn't my as far as content, it's my favorite.
No, I mean, like, I know what you mean. I'm not just talking about content. It's my favorite for that as well. But I'm talking about as far as the what would you say, the fluidity?
Yeah, but
how it moves,
get bounced out of it, or can't get into the show I want, or and probably because I'm only watching the most popular things. I'm not deep diving. But actually, Peacock.
Even when I watched House of Dragons, when it would debut exactly at 9 o'clock, I don't know, people at 9 o'clock, I never had an issue. So I do think sometimes things do be your connections to internet, right? Or what you have on, how you're watching it. Like, definitely if I'm watching on my horrible on television, it's going to trashly suck. But if I go watch it on my VGA or my Samsung, then there's no issue. Also, so all kind of different variables fall into place of that. But Braun Breaker needs to come up. He needs to sign with Raw 100%. I didn't expect to see Andrade after the 1 week, so I hope to see him next week, him sign. I do want to see Corbin come up, but I actually don't want to see the Wolf Dogs as much as I love the Wolf Dogs in NXT. I think Braun Breaker has been held back long enough. They've tried to repackage him every single way, and he's come out in flying colors every single time. It's time to move that guy up, especially after the Royal Rumble. We don't want the same problem we had with Keith Lee, where Keith Lee got this whole entire rub from that guy, we can't say his name, Lord Voldemort, okay, and they did nothing with it. You know what I'm saying? So I hope to see Braun Breaker do his thing on the next level.
Yeah, and last time we saw him, he speared JD McDonough, so that's they can't be playing with R-Truth and the Miz this entire time.
Right.
So the last thing I want to see is Braun Breaker, teaming with the Miz. So I wouldn't mind him helping the Miz, but then spearing the Miz too. So that would be all right. Just
everybody keeps thinking it's going to be what is it, Total Awesomeness or Awesome Truth back together. They're thinking Awesome Truth is the one who wins the titles against them at WrestleMania. I need to see a fatal 4-way. They can't bring back Money to Banks and all that kind of stuff because they have their own pay-per-views now. But I think them making Money to the Bank their own pay-per-view took things away from WrestleMania. Right? I don't need to have a Money to Bank pay-per-view. I needed to have a Money in the Bank every single WrestleMania because to me it made it special and it gave guys and girls something to do that day instead of throwing them all together in some corny ass Andre the Giant Battle Royal, which no one respects. And that's a shame because it's an Andre the Giant themed Battle Royal and Bobby Lashley won it. No one cared. You know what I mean? Big Show won it. No one cared. So, and you're right. Some people cared. Most people didn't give two shits.
It's true. Most people are very late to the Bobby Lashley train, not me. All right. So, I remember when he was on episode 2 of Prison Break. Anyway.
That's going back.
It sure is. What was the guy's name? Wentworth Miller or whoever the star was? It doesn't matter. He had a really what's he name? Anyway, so yeah, I don't know about the Awesome Truth of WrestleMania. Maybe Elimination Chamber. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. It doesn't matter so much. So then we saw the Punk Candid. We already talked about that. Gunther gets a celebration for 600 days and basically, talking about how great he's been doing and he's the ring general. They all look like $1 million, but someone's going to interrupt. And I know people are like, "Oh, who's it going to be?"
Everybody thought Braun.
Everyone thought Braun Breaker. That's right. Other people were hoping Sami Zayn. That everyone in IWC they ignored the obvious, which is Jey Uso. So Jey Uso came up, and as usual, Pat McAfee was the highlight, getting up on the table, doing the...
No. You're not going to disrespect main event like that. Pat McAfee was not the highlight. Jey Uso was the highlight, not Pat. Pat can ride on the coattails all they want to. Go punt a ball somewhere. This is not your show at 12 o'clock where we can cuss if we want to because we're adults and we're allowed to cuss. I like the Pat McAfee show, but no. And I like Pat McAfee, but no. Jey Uso has separated himself from the crowd. I still say Jimmy over Jey, whatever. But the crowd loves Jey Uso, and not necessarily because of Jey Uso, y'all, because the crowd just like to participate in shit. So you got the crowd bouncing. It's kind of hard. Plus, they like him, and he's not Roman, so it works for him. He will get singles gold, but will it be against Gunther? That's the question.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, that is a good question. And, yeah, he's put out the Intercontinental Championship Challenge. They didn't say when or where. People are talking WrestleMania. I mean... I
love the promo.
Yeah. Elimination Chamber is right there around the corner, so I'm thinking that's the one, but it doesn't matter because, he doesn't like the no yeet and he attacks Gunther, so Imperium beat him up and then the New Day come to rescue. So I imagine we'll have a 6-man next week.
See it silent. No main event Jey Uso slander. Fuck Jey Uso. Give me Jimmy all day. Main event can win an Oscar, but Jimmy won a Golden Globe. And guess what? I watch way more TV shows than I watch movies.
You know what? That's an interesting point. So do I. It's not even close. So then we get the Nakamura vignette, but a couple things to note. He didn't say chaos. He didn't say Rainmaker, and he didn't point out that he's 0-3. So that's all I care about this stupid segment. We then are going to get K&K Dance Factory. That's Kaden Carter and Katana Chance in their rematch against the Kabuki Warriors. The Kabuki Warriors win clean as they should. So this match was fine, nothing special, but it's fine. And the Kabuki Warriors, no, we still haven't seen Dakota Kai since the breakup. No Io Sky there as well. They were alone. Obviously, Bailey wasn't there. No run-ins, no nothing. So this was just a straight tag team match where the champions defeated the lesser team. At some point, we saw the women's tag team division for Raw. Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae, Tegan Knox and Natty, and Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. We didn't see.
I don't have time for a rant, but can you allow me 30 seconds?
You can rant off, man. Rant.
Easy. Certain people choose to eat McDonald's every day. People smoke Newports people actually drink Still Reserve. People go pick up a thing of whiskey for $10.99. Not Mike Knox. I love main event Jey Uso, but it's a color scheme, maybe. Red's my favorite color, so maybe that's what it is for me, right? I like the older brother better. I don't know, maybe that's what it is for me. I don't know. I think Jimmy's funny. You say Jimmy's a joke. Jimmy's not a joke. Jimmy is what wrestlers are. He still gets a reaction. You can't say Jimmy's a joke because he's clowning himself or he's being led to be beat up or however is leading the road towards he's not winning matches. But look at our truth. You can't say he wasn't entertaining. That wasn't a moment in the Royal Rumble when they go face to face, and it wasn't funny how every single heel came in that ring. Jimmy tried to by himself to get a vote, and right there. So I just thought you can love them both, but as long as you love them both, right? But you can choose whatever you want, all right? Because people eat McDonald's, and that's nasty. My kids have never had McDonald's in their entire life.
Wow.
But McDonald's, I take your endorsement though.
Yeah, well, that's an accomplishment. I didn't think your rant was going to be about Jimmy versus Jay, but on that point, a lot of people thinking Uso versus Uso was going to be a WrestleMania match. And their interaction in the Royal Rumble, I don't really think displayed much of that, even though they came in 1 and 2 and they really had an opportunity. I think that tonight was a ruined opportunity if you wanted to do that. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on, as to what I would have done differently than what they did in the main event and why. But did you, people have disagreed with me. They said that they felt a lot of heat between Jimmy and Jay during the Royal Rumble. And I just didn't really feel like.
Yeah, I told you I talked about you on the post show. I talked about you on the Mike Knox show the week after that. I was there and I saw it on television. It was nothing but magic. Okay. That they can run that clip over and over. He's in his face and they size each other. He's like, "What you doing here, Oos?" All that was amazing. They should main event night 1, in my opinion. Jimmy versus Jay. So you asked this question, and I treat you the same way I treat everybody else. I'm undefeated, never lost. Okay, I'm not blind to Jay Uso. I think you're blind to Jimmy because you like Jay so much. I'm not taking nothing from Jay.
Well, I don't care about which one I like better than the other.
Jay's being given everything, though. Jimmy isn't. You got to look at that. Everything's in wrestling's about storyline. The storyline right now has Jay leading the charge. I don't mean Jimmy's not good.
I'm not asking which one I prefer, which one anyone prefers. I'm asking, do you think that is a match that people want to see?
I do. I 100% do. I 100% do. 100%. I was asking his question and yours at the same time. I was multitasking, and I apologize. Wrap it around. What we got?
Easy. I mean, it's fun because it's the Zia silent, so they never got to talk to each other. So this is a rare occasion for them to get these things out. So all right. So next is Jackie Redmond up in the stands with Sami Zayn, obviously pre-taped in the bleachers somewhere. And Sami Zayn, I mean, is there anything other to say except he's sad, but he's still going to come for something? We're not exactly sure, but we should respect him because he's going to be a champion.
The AEW Renee segment in the crowd. Triple H loves to take what Tony Khan's little nuggets of winning do and make it better, and they did in this case too. I'm a Sami Zayn mark. The Zia silence, you want to be smart and we should put us out there. I talked about time. He sees a fatal 4-way. Haven't had one in a while. Sami Zayn, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, and Cody Rhodes. Again, no matter how you swing it, no one's going to want that either because they don't want Cody in that. Like at least the 1,500 that were complaining and bitching and saying, Rocky sucks. 1,500 out of 14,000 people. Let that sink in. There were not that many people saying Rocky suck. Okay.
Yeah, and it didn't last for that long either. But it happened. I mean, it was audible. But with Sami Zayn, do you think that perhaps Jey Uso gets his Intercontinental shot at Elimination Chamber, doesn't win? Maybe Jimmy gets involved or whatever to continue that. They do have a WrestleMania match. And Sami Zayn, the title that he goes after is the Intercontinental Champion. And
I can see that
one at WrestleMania for his feel good. Because I don't really think that Sami Zayn's ever going to get a world championship.
Absolutely not. And I'm a Sami Zayn mark, super mark. But he's never going to win a world title. At least, let's not say never, right? Because who'd ever thought that Jericho would have beat Rock and Steve Austin in one night? So wrestling storylines, injuries, business things happen. We don't know, but I'm with you. I don't foresee him being a world champion no more than I see Carmelo Hayes being a world champion on the main roster. But Sami got a way better chance than Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah, but I could see him beating Gunter, and if you beat Gunter after whatever, it'll probably be close to 700 days at that point.
Yeah.
It's pretty damn well. No, it'll be more like 660 anyway. 666 maybe. It'll be damn impressive. It's almost like winning
that day. Almost it would be.
It'll almost like winning a world championship if you beat Gunter after.
Well, they actually, I want to see the math now. Where are you ham and eggers that know that kind of stuff? Will WrestleMania be day 666 for Gunter? Because if so, he has to lose that day, right?
It'll be 661 because today was the 600-day celebration. Assuming this really was day 600 because they said WrestleMania is 61 days away during the ticker during the show.
So we wouldn't get that anyway. So there it is.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't get my number of the beasts going. Even if they do night 2, it's still 662.
Yeah.
So, but this was definitely the Jon Moxley. I'm mad. Don't forget me. I'm coming for stuff. I'm not sure what promo. Just Sammy's version. And then we had our main event, which was Nakamura and Cody for a bull rope match. Again, Nakamura's coming after him after an 0-3 record in this feud. There's really no reason, but the crowd kept saying, we want Cody, so you got Cody. So what do you think you got at the end? You got an 0-4 result. Nakamura loses again. Cody wins in heroic ways. And after that, Drew McIntyre attacks him and hits him with a Claymore. So, this might be where we get our triple threat in WrestleMania. It might be Drew, Seth, and Cody. But
that's why I say you intercede. I like what you just said a second ago, though, right? So I think you can go either way with that because I like this because I think you get me Jimmy versus Jay at WrestleMania. So Jay goes in there. You're right. Jimmy causes him to lose that. That gives us that match. Bring that somewhere else. So maybe it will be that triple threat match. So that's what all signs point to.
I think you're right. Right. And this is why I think this was sort of a wasted opportunity. I mean, this Nakamura feud, like he's 0-3, there's really no point in it going forward. And I think that if Jimmy and/or Solo showed up on Raw tonight, it would have made sense for one of them. Roman sent them to go to Cody to beat some sense into this because apparently both champions want Cody to come after them for some reason. Yeah. And you could have had, that kind of match, and then Jay intercedes, and then you are furthering that Jay and Jimmy heat to make that sort of, a story that you want to see them interact again, but you keep them apart again until, Elimination Chamber, and then, other big shows, but enough that you're like, then you can't keep them apart, and it's the road to WrestleMania, and it's got to be brother versus brother. And you think that Solo is going to be wrapped up because somebody's got to be paying attention and watching Roman's back. Of course, Jacob Fatu is a free agent now, so who knows?
How about that, right?
Yeah.
So all things can happen. Wouldn't that make people even more mad? Roman introduced a new bloodline member to help him beat The Rock.
Would it make people mad? Yes. Would it make me mad? No. I'm all for it. The Four Horsemen kept bringing in more people. They'd have an associate. I'm all for. Listen, I don't want it to get like NWO where you end up having 63 people and there's 14 people left on the WCW roster. But I'm perfectly fine with the bloodline being referred. I mean, what the hell was
I don't
Zion
think the bloodline's
Quinn,
stale though to me either, which is strange.
What's that? Sorry.
I don't think they're stale either. So adding another person, I wish that they added Nia Jax. I wish they do add a female. They're, the Naomi things, but again, Naomi's not going to turn heel. So this is the road to WrestleMania. These are the things we discuss, we talk about, we debate. And again, see, it's no fair debate, Jimmy versus Jay, because it'd be swayed. There's no argument for me to say me picking Jimmy over Jay.
They're identical twins. It's not really a winning argument.
It's Jay's story. Like, everything points towards Jay being the better brother right now. I don't mean he is the better brother. People, like you said once before, Kurt Angle just recently mentioned, he felt Owen was just as good as Bret. Just Bret got the shine over Owen.
Wow, Bret was also a lot bigger than Owen.
But I thought skill wise, Owen and Bret were identical.
Yeah,
I've seen them wrestle. You couldn't tell up. Owen was that, but Bret had something that Owen didn't have. Right. Quote unquote, right? Mm-hmm. Some would see it the other way around. People thought maybe the Blue Blaze was way more entertaining than Bret Hart, right? Some people thought Bret Hart was as boring as watching paint dry. Like it's boring as we're about to say, we're about to get up out of here because it's half my bedtime. So your final thoughts on Raw, Evil Dose?
Listen, my final thoughts are thank you for joining me on this inaugural relaunch of this show. I appreciate it. You stepped in for the executive consultant. You said we're going to get in and out of an hour. We're getting in an hour. So my final thoughts are stay evil, my friends.
Hey, there it is. And make sure you catch all the shows on Unpop Review Entertainment tomorrow. NXT review show Wednesday and tomorrow. Ready Player One on Unpop Review Entertainment side, including Wednesday. We bring back the AEW Dynamite show. Thursday, live press conference going on, as well as Unpop Review Entertainment comes back again with the Book of Eli review. And then Friday, I think we're starting TNA. I think that starts Friday. And then Saturday, of course, make sure you see the Zia Silent and my man Vic Damone Jr. They do the SmackDown review show, including on Saturdays the Collision review show as well. There's always something here. As my man Bill Murray say, there's always room for Jello, people. So just click in, tune in, like, follow, subscribe, and share. And tell a friend to tell a friend. Unpop Review is taking over. We're out of here, y'all. Peace.